if you look across Adelaide, different regions of Adelaide are facing different challenges. So we're trying to really drive down to that local understanding and also get a sense of local job creation. So one of the things we did in the budget was put aside $100 million to work with local communities on local job creation, because so many, and this would be true of here, it certainly is true where I am in Melbourne, and they're not dissimilar communities, is people have to leap in the car and drive and drive and drive and drive and drive. And when you do the stats of how many people actually work locally, if you can take that number of jobs up, then people aren't driving, it's more time at home, more time with the kids. For employers, it's actually probably more loyal and reliable staff. We did have to make some tough choices to get the money together to fund the flood recovery work, which was necessary right around the nation after the very difficult summer we lived through. So that was a tough decision. The project had hit some planning problems. So the planning is done at a state government level, and it had hit some planning problems, and it had been controversial in parts of the route. So we'll continue to work, with the local community here on planning solutions. I know that there's been a master planning process here, and it's been fed through to our minister, Anthony Albanese, and I think it's actually been sent back, hasn't
Yes, it has been.
Yes.
It was rejected. The first one was rejected because it didn't comply with the community consultation aspects of the process. And he's asked to go back and redo it again. And I believe that that might be in the process of being sent back to the minister now. I can't remember if it's already been sent back, but the minister hasn't responded to the second proposal that's been put forward.
We've been very focused on closing the gap, and it has paid dividends. It's not easy to change around very long-term disadvantage for Indigenous Australians. But on the information available to me, retention rates have gone from around 33% to 62%. So there's more to do, to get retention rates where we want them. We don't want kids leaving school early. We don't want them, out of work and out of hope and not with a Year 12 or equivalent. But we are starting to see change, and we'll remain very focused on school improvement and on delivering a good education, a great education for every child. I think we need to try and take some pressure off, and the reality is there's not going to be one solution. All the cities in Australia are different, but I think we need to improve or keep building on the attractiveness of regional Australia as a place to live. Many regional towns want growth and they're not seeing growth, and many of them have got job opportunities so that they could sustain and support the growth. What we can do is we can dedicate funding, and we've got a package to fund early intervention for kids with autism. So that means in that critical period of sort of 0 to 7, they can access a package of $12,000 of support, because if you can bring in the speech therapist early and people like that, the psychologist early, you can actually make a really big difference to how the child is going to progress when the child gets to school. And then when the child is in school, no matter what the circumstances of that schooling are, in the budget, even in a really tight budget where we had to be very focused on our priorities, we created, we didn't find, we had to work hard to create the space for it. We created space for $200 million of new money for children with disabilities in schooling.